You're smart, you're motivated, you want to do something big. You're on the verge of being a young boss, and we're going to help you get there. I'm your host, Isabelle Guarino, and welcome to the Young Boss Podcast, where youth is your power. What's your means to your end? This week, we talk about the challenges of maintaining your social circle as a young entrepreneur, how asking for money is awkward, managing time as a teenage business owner, and why the best benefit of going to college is building a strong network. I'd like to welcome Sophia Bosch, a 17-year-old land flipper, podcast host, and philanthropist. Let's dive in. Welcome to the show, Sophia.
Thank you so much for having me. It's so exciting.
Okay, so I want to ask you some quick-fire questions then. Okay, You're 17 now. Okay, Pepsi or Coke?
Neither. I don't really drink soda.
No soda. Tacos or pizza?
Pizza.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Grow a business fast or slow?
Slow.
Bootstrap a business or raise money for it?
Raise money.
Who's the most influential person in your life?
I have two. So my parents.
There you go.
Mom and dad.
What's one book or podcast everyone must read or listen to?
I think Unreasonable Hospitality by Will Guarino.
Okay, we got to add it to the list. I haven't read that one. Describe your business in one word.
Flexible.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, what is your business's mission?
Mission to provide people with their dream piece of land.
Ooh, does your business have a name?
Well, it's like the LLC, so it's SB Investments.
SB Investments, there we go. Sophia Bosch.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, tell it, you're out of the fire. So now you're good, you made it.
Okay.
Tell us a bit about yourself and what are you doing right now with land? Tell me everything.
Okay, so right now, well, I'm 17. I'm a junior in high school.
Yeah.
So I have school full-time technically, and then I'm also running a land flipping business.
Okay.
So you buy it at a discount, a piece of land at a discount, and then you sell it for market value.
Okay.
I'm also a co-host with my mom on the Becoming Wealthy podcast.
I love it.
Yes, and I recently became a philanthropist, and I started fundraising for a nonprofit that raises money for blood cancers called the Leukemia Lymphoma Society.
Okay, you have a lot going on,
yes,
girlfriend.
I do.
Okay, let's start with the land flipping.
Yeah.
How did you get into this? Was this a passion of yours?
Okay, so at first, I've grown up in a family that both of my parents are real estate investors. Mm-hmm. They teach people how to flip land specifically. They immigrated into the U.S. They had corporate jobs, hated it, went into, somehow stumbled into the real estate world with houses. Tried houses, didn't work. Went into land. All of a sudden worked. Then they began teaching people. So they have a coaching company.
Okay.
Teaching people how to flip land.
Yeah.
But then also, and I came along, so they run this business together.
Okay.
So family life and business life.
It's one and the same.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were going to get involved no matter what.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't really, they talk about it during dinner. It seeps into our little dinner conversations, whatever. So I'm always listening to it. So that's what's really influenced me to start that. Okay. Plus the lifestyle. Yeah. We take trips over the summers. This past trip, it was 2 months. We were in Europe.
Amazing.
And that's what the land flipping business
has allowed.
Exactly. So I see the lifestyle that we live. I love it, by the way. But I know that once I move out,
that ends.
Yeah. So how am I supposed to replicate it for myself?
Okay.
Yeah.
This sounds like every parent's dream, right?
Yeah.
A kid who's like, wait. I don't want this life to end.
Yeah, exactly.
And so they figure out a way, and if they follow in the parents' footsteps, that's even better because they can show you how to do this.
Exactly.
So your parents taught you firsthand how to do this.
Okay. It wasn't exactly my parents. They did help me. They were resources within the house, which was very helpful. But if they would have taught me, I think there would have been a little bit of butting heads.
Okay.
Just
You had to go learn
yes.
outside.
My dad does have this superpower to like simplify stuff really well, so it was easy to talk to him about it. But I did work with a coach in the coaching business that they have.
Yeah.
We call them master coaches. They have done over, in 1 year, maybe over $1 million worth of profit from land flipping.
Okay.
So they're experienced and they know
what to do.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Okay. So did you buy land and flip land here in Arizona?
Yes. My first deal, I've only done one deal.
Okay.
And that first deal was here in Arizona in the Maricopa County area.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So they taught you how to find it for cheap, basically, and sell it for more.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so is land something that's recession proof?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Because it's not like houses where you're relying on, certain things, and if the economy goes bad and people can't afford, it's not like that.
It's not exactly like that. People will always have the most random reasons for wanting a piece of land.
Okay.
I've seen people that want to put a RV on it. Some people that they like going up north off-roading with their kids.
Okay.
Like just most
random reasons.
Who knows? But you're serving a purpose, you know, by providing them with that piece of land.
Okay. So lots of different creative ways that they're getting into it. And let's go to the other route. You and your mom have a podcast.
Yes.
Okay, so did you say, Mom, I want to learn more, or did she drag you into it? How did it work?
So the original reason why we started it was because my mom earlier last year, she was really, really ill, and we realized that we have not been spending as much time together as we would have wanted. And she has so many lessons that she learned. And I'm an only child. So I'm the only legacy that they have to pass on that knowledge. They can pass on as much money as whatever. But if I don't know how to manage it, don't know how to grow it, what's the point?
Yeah. Yeah.
So the lessons are the real wealth.
Yeah.
So it's a podcast of really spending time with each other, passing it on, the knowledge, interviewing some 7 to 8 figure business women.
Yeah.
And really
just diving in.
Yeah, experiencing it, all different aspects of business, all different aspects of wealth, and how to really become wealthy. So it's from the two generational perspectives. Yeah. So my mom and then me.
I love it. Who's been one of your favorite guests?
Leslie Baum.
Uh-huh.
She's a photographer.
Okay.
So she has a business with both the art form that she really, really loves and with, of course, the business side and being able to take pictures and be the photographer for some really big people and really serve that mission of like she's right now focusing on a lot of women and women entrepreneurs. So this is the new season of her, so I really love that.
I love that. Okay, cool. And all of the guests, you're learning all sorts of different business things.
It's never just in the real estate world. We've had people in the beauty industry, people in across the board, fully across the board.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
It's giving you a full perspective that there are so many ways that you can make money and really do this outside of
It's definitely opened my mind up to a lot of
other things.
Yeah. I was like, before in school you only hear of like the typical doctor, lawyer, whatever.
Yeah. Okay, talk to me about your friends. Are they thinking that you are, too good for them and you're doing things like crazy to the next level and they can't relate to you? Or are they envious and they want to do it too? They're saying, hey, teach me. I want to know.
I'm getting mostly the first. Mostly the first one. I've only gotten a few that's like, teach me, but actually, that's something that I've been slightly struggling with. Yeah. I've realized that the friend group before weren't really supportive. So I've been having a little trouble. It's also like, what's my place? In high school where a lot of people don't know what they want to do.
Yeah.
I kind of have an idea. Like,
Yeah.
I already have that kick-started a little bit.
Yeah.
So when people see that,
Yeah.
they don't know how to relate to me, and it's more challenging to navigate that environment.
You also don't want to like hide your shine and your brilliance.
Exactly. Last year, I did have that trouble where it got to the point where a couple, like one specific friend and a couple others, everything that I said about it, like I was excited. So I was going to tell my best friends, like, naturally I'm excited about something, I want to tell you about it, right? They started judging me for what I was saying. So I kept silencing myself to the point that I didn't know who I was. My personality, I thought, was gone. And then the universe, thank God, put me into a class with some really amazing people. And I remember them saying, like, we were talking about first impressions, and they're like, Sophia, I just loved your personality. Aww. I'm like, wait, someone can see it, and it's these people that can see it. Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to be okay.
Okay, I'm going to be okay, yeah. And so it has been a little bit of a struggle, but
it is interesting because right now you're in a phase of life where not a lot of people are thinking about business and career and making money. It's all about friends and social life and sports and what's cool. Yeah. Social media and all of this stuff. And in 10 years, everyone around you is going to be thinking about what you're thinking about. You're just so far ahead of the curve. So it is challenging because maybe they can't relate to you in that same way.
I'd like to think that I'm also like, I'm social, things like that. But maybe not. Sometimes I do have to take that step back because I do have a commitment or something, so I can't be in that social scene, things like that.
Yes.
So I don't know.
I think it's like what's the priority? You know, it's just not their priority right now. Yeah. Not that you can't relate on everything that they're worried about. You definitely can. They can't relate to your other side, you know? So that I could see that totally being a challenge. In 10 years, it won't. You'll be perfectly fine. But right now, it is such a strange juxtaposition for you to be in because you also want to be friends with everybody. So
yeah. Especially I go to a really small school, so everyone knows everyone. Everyone knows each other's names, at least in the high school portion of it. Yeah. Like, even though you haven't had a class with them, you still...
You know them.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a little bit strange, and you can't create also... Like, you have to learn how to be friendly with everyone, even if you might not jive with them as much. Still have to learn how to work with them. Yeah. So...
Well, that's a skill you're going to take into real life.
Yeah.
Because in business, you've got to work with a whole lot of people that you may or may not like.
Yeah.
And, you know, or vibe with, and you have to figure out a way to vibe with them. So that will be good. Okay, you're working with family very closely.
Yes.
Do you love it? Tell me everything about that.
I personally love it. I'm really close with both of my parents.
Yeah.
I think that might be only child things, but I love it. It can get a little overwhelming at times just because, like, at the dinner table, you wanted to, like, just sit and eat in peace, but then people are asking you about, have you done this? Have you done this? Or, so it kind of goes hand in hand. Yes. So you can't really escape it. Yeah. But I trust my parents a lot, so that trust is already there because of working with family. Yeah. So
I think that's huge, and that is one thing. I work with my family as well, and that's one thing that I've always said to everybody is you have this intuition on maybe how they think or how they want to receive information.
Exactly, that one.
Right? Yeah. When it's someone else.
How to phrase it in a way.
When it's someone else, you don't know that. You have to learn that by trial and error. Maybe you say things the wrong way, and then they're mad at you or whatever. You know how to talk to them. So it's a pro and it's a con, but it is also never ending.
Yeah.
So that is also different. But I think one of the most beautiful things is you're being able to know your parents in a way where they are coworkers, their boss, they're whatever you want to call them, not just a mom-daughter, a daughter-father relationship.
Yeah.
It's a new relationship.
I think a part of that also, as parents, they try, and I appreciate it, they try and put themselves back into my position, because sometimes it's like, what my problems are right now, they're like, oh, that doesn't matter, whatever, and it totally invalidates that. I do appreciate that they're like, okay, this is a big problem for her in this point of her life. I understand that. Let's figure it out. And they do a little bit the same with putting themselves in the business perspective, in the shoes of a beginner. So like, what would I know at this point? Yeah. And they do help me with like because they've learned so much already, they kind of compress and compact time for me a little bit, so I don't have to go through some of you
get a fast track.
Yeah, in some ways. In other ways, they're like, no, you gotta get your hands dirty, work it out, because if not, you're not gonna get the work ethic, everything.
Yeah, it is true, because it's such a pro and a con growing up with parents who can show you something that's worked for them, and it can work for you, because on one hand you'll have people who will never understand the journey you've been on, because their parents weren't able to do that for them, and they'll look at you like, privileged, or you had something that they didn't. On the other hand, and this is something that I had talked with Sabrina about, because we're all three in a similar situation, where it's like, well, what would you want me to do with this gift? You want me to just sit and just keep receiving blessings from my parents, not learn anything, not do anything?
You might as well.
And go out and waste money later?
Yeah, no.
Like, no, you want me to take this and bring it to the next level and do something for myself to carry this on and continue.
Set yourself up.
Set yourself up. You don't want, really, you want me to sit and do nothing? Like, no, if anybody has parents who can help take them to the next level, use that. Yeah. That's the blessing you were given in life. The bad part is when kids sit and don't do anything with it, It
pisses me off.
Right?
I'm sorry. It really does. I'm like, you might as well learn. I know some of the kids, of course, right now it's high school. Like, just it's your time to have fun, whatever. I'm also like, I have fun too. Don't worry about that. But some of them, I'm like worried that they won't eventually learn. So I'm like,
some might not.
Yeah.
But yes, I agree. It's one of those things where it's like, come on, just take the gift and go with it. Like, don't squander it. So, okay. The third part of everything you talked about, you've been raising money for, it's cancer research?
Yes, blood cancer research.
Blood cancer research. Why is this close to your heart?
So a family friend of ours, he had bone marrow cancer and unfortunately passed. He was really close. He actually learned land flipping from my parents, was able to pay some hospital bills from that, support his widow. Yeah. And now his widow remarried, and now we're all like very close family friends. Yeah. So like, he was in the hospital. There's pictures of him like with my little feet, and when I was just born, like, he's great, but he unfortunately passed, and he did get a grant from this organization to help with those hospital bills. Wow. So we didn't know that until a little bit after I had already been presented with that opportunity. Yeah. But the original reason was fundraising. Yeah. That's a great skill to learn, especially for a amazing organization cause, like the organization, the Leukemia Lymphoma Society. They give 81 cents on the dollar. Wow. To research, advocacy, and patient support. Those are the three pillars. Usually it's much less. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Usually it's much, much less. And so they have a student section of fundraising, which is a 7-week campaign that you can I led a team with 2 of my other friends.
Okay.
And we brought in a team of 20 teenagers.
Wow.
And in 7 weeks, we raised over $200,000 for the furthering of research of blood cancers, specifically for young adults.
Amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What did you learn in that? Because like you said in the beginning, it's a great life lesson.
Yes.
So what did you learn?
Asking for money is a little bit intimidating.
Yeah.
Especially if it's like people that you're not as close to, if it's parents, friends,
Yeah.
things like that. You're like, is it okay that I'm asking for money? But I learned that if you don't ask,
you won't receive.
yeah, exactly. There's nothing. The worst that they can say is no.
Yeah.
And if they can't support, they might support in other ways, like introducing you to a different contact.
Yeah.
So fundraising just in general is a great skill to have, especially my parents also do large apartment complex syndications, multifamily.
Yeah.
And so they usually raise money
Yeah.
to buy it.
Yeah.
So you
It's a
need to
skill.
learn how to fundraise.
Yes.
The only thing with a nonprofit or a charity fundraising with multifamily, you get a return on your money.
Right. So essentially, it'd be even easier to
Yeah.
convince them to give you the money.
Exactly.
Potentially.
Potentially. There's other ways to go around that. But for a cause,
It's different.
it's very different. The main thing you can do is like, your heart is going to feel warm and fuzzy. Like, you might get a tax deduction.
Yeah.
But if not, you're just literally asking for out of the kindness of their heart, would you support me in my endeavors and to this cause?
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so now you're not afraid of raising capital.
No, I'm not. Plus, the leadership aspect of the team itself. Like,
talk to me about that. How did you get a team of 20 teenagers to commit to doing this
so
with you?
I was the co-leader.
Okay.
With 2 other friends. Each of us go to different schools here in town in Phoenix.
Oh, nice.
So we each went to some of the biggest schools, and so we pulled people from each of our schools to do
it together.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So that was a good tactic.
We talk about partnerships all the time,
Yeah.
and that is like, if you partnered with other kids at your school, your pool would have been a lot smaller.
Yeah.
It's very strategic of you to have chosen friends who were at other schools. Now your network just grew times 10.
I will say, though, that the Phoenix network, once you get to a certain point, we've realized we were reaching out to a lot of the same people.
Yeah.
So we had to be careful on certain things.
Yeah.
But overall, we were not reaching out
to everyone. Same. Yeah.
So.
Okay, very cool. I love that. Hey everyone, I want to share something that has truly changed my charging game. It's the 360 electrical. When I got this cord, oh my goodness, you guys, I'm always in need of a quick charge, whether I'm on the go in the car or at the airport. I want to be able to plug it in and 15 minutes later be on full battery, and that's exactly what this has done for me. It delivers 240 watts of ultra fast charging, so you're back to full battery in no time. It is perfect for those last-minute travel emergencies. It's got a super long cord and it doesn't fray. It keeps everything nice and tidy, super easy to travel with, take with you on the road. So if you want to grab yours today, head to 360electrical.com and use promo code YoungBoss for 20% off your order. Now, back to the show. So in all of these experiences that you've had, what's been one of your biggest failures or obstacles that you've come across?
I'd say so far the land business, I've had the most failures.
Okay, tell us.
It took me 9 months to get my first deal.
Yeah.
I originally sent letters to a couple counties in Texas.
Yeah.
It was just one mistake after another. We can get into it. So the first batch of things, I went to Texas, to a couple counties in Texas. Texas, I did not realize, was a non-disclosure state.
Okay.
Meaning you don't have to, not all records, like property records, are public.
Oh.
So you can choose whether it's public or private or not. So with that comes, how much did you buy it for? How much did you sell it for? How long have you owned it?
Oh.
So unless you ask the person themselves, if they don't want to give it to the county to know, they probably won't tell a random person.
Yeah.
It's harder to get a
deal done
because you have less to compare it to.
Yeah.
When you're figuring out what's the market value, and then that correlates to how much your offer is going to be.
Okay.
There's less to go off of, so it's more like you would really have to like call a realtor and say like, what does this, give them like the dimensions of the property. If it has like a piece of land, if it has a wash in it, people probably don't want that. Okay. If it's landlocked, like if it has road access or not, what would it sell for? You would have to ask, go call
someone around.
And usually you would want to call the best people in town, not the inexperienced. So then you have to go finding that. So there's multiple hoops that you have to jump through.
Yeah. And
so I didn't do any of that. I just went for it. I didn't realize it was a non-disclosure state. And so once I picked some counties that the data, all of that was there. Like the demand was there in the past year. Like the amount that was being listed versus sold, all of that looked great. Mm-hmm. It's just sometimes the data, usually it's good, but sometimes you don't realize it's in a poor area, things like that. I picked a poorer area. And so it was not.
It didn't go so good.
It didn't go so well. And then, but people obviously wanted the money.
Yeah.
So they signed the contract and sent it back. Mm. But then when it came to sell, it fell apart for whatever reason. I thought my coach had taught me how to correctly figure out the price of the property.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, great. I know how to do this. Let me go off. And I didn't check them with him.
Okay.
And I got a little cocky, which I'm learning now to be humble and to really ask for help if I need it. Yeah. Even if you don't, just ask for help.
Anyways.
Yeah, ask anyways. But so there were a couple properties that fell apart that way. There was one guy that was trying to sell it twice, the property twice. Oh. That came out when we went, like, the title search.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Yeah. There was one property that was getting smaller and smaller and smaller with the title search. I don't know how it happened. Whatever was listed on the county website was obviously incorrect.
Wow.
So it just...
Doing your due diligence, seeking mentor advice.
Yes, until all of them basically fell apart. And then I was like, okay, you know what? Let me just do Arizona where I know best.
Yeah.
And that's where I ended up getting my first deal.
Okay. So now are you sticking with Arizona?
Yes, maybe for the time being, and then I'll
branch out again.
Yeah.
Okay. With your mentor's advice.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. In this case, in your business, youth has been an advantage or a disadvantage to you?
I think at first I would have said a disadvantage.
Yeah.
Just because I felt like I had to call up sellers and buyers to negotiate. Mm-hmm. And I sound pretty young, I feel like.
Yeah.
My voice is not exactly I thought it doesn't sound like
mature.
Yeah, whatever, mature, professional, whatever. I was able to get over that a little bit by saying like, okay, I work for the family business. Mm-hmm. We've been in business for over 20 years. Using that reputation as
leverage,
using that, and saying you're in good hands.
Yeah.
Like, we've gotten people their property everyone's really happy, things like that. And just flip it and start asking them about their property.
Less about you, more about them.
Exactly.
Okay, so at first a disadvantage.
Now I'd say it's an advantage just because I'm starting so young.
Yeah.
I have that couple years before everyone starts focusing on it, like you were saying, to really learn and get myself as many steps ahead as possible.
Yep.
So I'd say it's an advantage now.
Time is on your side,
Yeah.
And as everyone will tell you, time is the biggest asset.
Plus, people, I've realized with the fundraising specifically, they really do want to help me. Like they see my drive, they see the passion, and they're like, yes, of course, I'd help you. Like, there's no doubt.
Yeah.
Of course, I'll support someone that's going out there and really applying themselves.
Yep. I love that. I think that is huge. And I say that all the time,
Right.
whether it's being a woman in a room full of men or being the youngest person in the room. It's like, don't ever think that is your weakness. That's your biggest strength. Like, hone in on it and go be that only girl in the room.
Right.
Go be the youngest one in the room, whatever it is.
Yep.
What advice do you have for other young people who might be struggling with imposter syndrome when they want to start, a business?
I'd say just go for it. I feel like you have nothing to lose when you're younger. Like, you have so much time to, like, bounce back, recover.
Yep.
Plus, like, if you fail, you know what you did wrong. So you can try something else the next time.
Yeah.
So just having that courage to go for it, I'd say, is the biggest thing. Like, I personally had to have the courage to even hire people to help me.
Okay.
Like, I'm at school all day. I can't take people's calls.
Right.
Plus, I feel like I sound a little young, so it's like that still goes a little bit into it.
Yeah.
But I have people, I pay for a service to pick up the phone for me, enter in the lead,
So you can go back later.
Yeah, so I can go back later.
Awesome.
They ask all the questions like, how big is your parcel? How long have you owned it? What are you looking to get for it is the most important.
Mm-hmm.
Then you kind of craft it around there.
Yeah.
The price or the offer you send to them. But, yeah, having that courage to really go out and hire people was
a lot.
Yeah, it put a little pressure on me because now I'm dependent.
Yeah.
Or, like, people
Someone's
are dependent on me.
Yeah.
So
a little more pressure.
Yeah.
There you go.
So put some pressure on yourself to go for it.
Yeah. You think the pressure was good then?
I personally work well with a little bit of pressure.
Yeah.
I love a good challenge to, like, keep me motivated. If I don't have a challenge, I'm like, what am I doing with myself? Yeah.
Yep. Same. I every time I had a job that was, like, boring, I'm just like, okay, I'm not using my brain. Like, get me out of here. Okay, there's so many things that you're doing now, and do you see yourself eventually taking over your parents' business? Would you want to go that direction?
I'm not entirely sure. I think I will for sure be taking over the multifamily.
Okay.
So the passing down properties to me. I'm for sure going to be taking over that. That's a great passive income.
Yeah.
Like, amazing, but I don't know about I don't know about that one.
Okay.
Real estate, I love that area. It's gotten me some great passive income. I have a note right now.
Yeah.
On the first deal, I didn't get it just cash.
Yeah.
I have it $526 a month coming into my bank account.
I love it.
So I have
On
some
a note. Okay.
Yes, a little bit spending money.
Yeah.
But also investing it again. But that I realized with the real estate business, it's a great active income, but I don't know if I want to.
If you want to be active.
Yes. I also love the art scene.
Okay.
So I right now I'm doing in school an independent study.
Yeah.
So it's like a class that you kind of make up
Oh.
with a teacher.
Yeah.
And I'm doing it on art curation. So how to manage an art collection.
Yeah.
How to price pieces of art. Basically, how to own a gallery.
Very
gallery.
cool.
So it's the business side of the art world.
Yeah.
In a way. So, but how do I get there? How do I purchase the pieces? I need money for that.
Money. Okay,
So.
I love this. This is going to be your means to your end. I love
Yes.
it. Okay, very cool. You know, I think that it's really creative the way that your parents have taught you to view money, and you're blessed in that, because so many people, they don't view money that way. It's money is to pay bills. It is not to provide a lifestyle or for freedom or all of these things that you've described to us here today. So it's great that you have that perspective on it, and that you're saying, no, I can use this, that maybe, you know, I know it, it's a skill, I have it, let me use this income to fund my passion.
Yeah, but also it creates amazing skills, like communication skills, leadership skills, anything that you will need for, I'd say, any industry.
Yeah.
You can get it from
being in business.
Yeah.
What are 3 tactical tips that you would give to someone who wants to be in business or a business owner?
Honestly, at least for me right now, I feel like my generation is also a little bit different in the way that we won't do something unless we really like it.
Okay, you have to have passion.
Exactly.
Okay.
So figure out what you really love.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to dedicate yourself for the rest of your life, you can always change, jump around.
Right.
But for a long period of time, do what you love. Because why would you? I'm a part of that generation that's like, why would you not? If you can figure out a way to make the same money with some area of or industry that you really are interested in, why not? Go into that.
Yeah.
So
I love it. Find something that you're passionate
so that's
about.
one.
Okay.
2, I'd say surround yourself with a good group of people. I'm learning that. Some people that keep you accountable. So whether that's a mentor or a coach. My parents nicely keep me accountable at the dinner table. But friends also that value you as a person. That's 2. And then the third one I'd say is just, that kind of goes along with the first one, but just have fun and take bold actions. So just go for it. You have nothing to lose.
I love it. I think those are amazing tips that everybody of any age should be able to relate to. When it comes to managing your own finances, did your parents set you up with like a plan of, okay, if you're going to do this and you're going to make this money, then we need to figure out other ways to invest it? Or was it like, this is your money, you go do whatever you want?
At first it was like, so I've never gotten an allowance. My parents don't believe in allowances. That's just how we are. So, and I've gotten to a point right now, I'm in my concert kick. I like going, and the tickets can be pricey.
They are so expensive these days.
Yeah. So, and I would want to see more of the mainstream artists too.
So they're going to be even more.
Exactly. So, I've been also wanting to go out for dinners with my friends, things like that. So, and they're like, we're not going to keep paying for this. This is a lot. Like, how about you figure that out? I'm like, yeah, sure. And also, I didn't want to be a burden to my parents because, no. But that kind of, I do spend my money on now concert tickets, things like that. But I do, like, budget, like, what do I mostly spend my expenses on? Or, like, what expenses do I have? Like, should I really go to AJ's after school, get myself a Arnold Palmer? Probably not, but sometimes it's okay.
It's a little treat.
Yeah, but I'd say they kind of do say do what you want, but they do give me guidance.
Yeah.
Like, I did take some of it and put it into a recent apartment complex.
Okay.
And so it's growing from there.
Yes.
So I do have a little bit, and then another portion of that is set aside to reinvest into the land.
Okay.
So to send out new mailings, pay for closing costs, pay for a realtor, which I did on the first, because I just don't have time to pick up calls.
Yeah.
So
okay, let's talk about time management, because man, you have a lot going on.
Yeah.
And obviously school needs to be a priority somewhere in there.
especially junior year, if I want to go to a good college.
Yeah.
I have to keep my
Grades
up, everything up, to try and give myself the best possible application or look for the colleges.
Yeah,
things
fair.
like that.
So how do you manage everything?
Okay, so I learned from experience, because earlier this year, or in my sophomore year, so many opportunities were presented to me. And I said yes to all of them. And that, in theory, sounds like great. You have so many things, like so many opportunities, like that's amazing. What I quickly learned is that I could not handle it, but I'm a person that keeps my word.
Okay.
So if I say yes to something, I'm not backing out. I'm gonna do the best of my ability in that.
Yeah.
That took a toll on me, though. Like, I was very burnt out by the end of it, but I realized that, like, the prioritization and the time management came in seasons. So the 7-week campaign was January and February of this year.
Yeah.
So during that time, I put my head down. I was like, okay, some of the things have to be put on the back burner. I was still doing those to my 100%, but the 100% of the energy that I had left.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So I gave a lot of my energy into the campaign, and it paid off. We won the title of Student Visionary of the Year.
Amazing.
In the Phoenix chapter. So
wow.
I'm happy. But that's those 7 weeks, I really had to work with that. But then in March and April, I had to then turn to the land business, because I had deals under contract. I needed to get them sold. And the first deal was sold April 16th.
Wow.
Yep.
Amazing.
So I had to quickly change. And then May, back to school, because it's finals week.
Yep.
So
a little bit of shifting. I like how you said that. I can give 100% of what's left after the main priority. So at certain times, there's certain seasons for different things to be at the forefront.
Yeah. And it's not like I wasn't also working on
you and life
and working on school and everything.
Yeah.
I even decided to take an AP test 6 weeks before the test.
Yeah.
Which usually people know a year in advance, so they start studying a year in advance.
Okay.
But I
didn't do that.
Okay. So I had to really push it there. So, but over the summer, I was like, okay, let me just chill.
Yes. Do you take chill time?
I do.
Okay, good.
I do. That was this summer. I decided to put the land business on pause.
Yeah.
That's the nice part about it.
Yeah.
You can really take a step back when you want to. Like, you could just not send out mailers. And
it pauses business for a second.
Yeah, it pauses business.
Okay.
So I paused that. That was all good. I really took that summertime to just spend time with family.
Yeah.
We traveled. I spent time with my grandparents in Germany, since my dad's from Germany.
Yeah.
And then I did do a little bit of business. I did a business program at Oxford, 2 weeks.
How cool.
Yeah. And I met some amazing people.
Yeah.
So that was fun. That was like my little bit of academic
fun.
Because I need a little bit of structure.
Okay.
Just to
keep it balanced.
But there's for sure different seasons to really push in different aspects of your life.
I love that.
Yeah. I learned that the hard way. Yep.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about, I know we talked earlier before
Right.
the show started, if you want to go to college or not. So you
Yes.
could be very well a person who would say, I don't need to go to college. I'm good. I have some resources.
Yeah.
I know what I can do with my life. And a lot of people would look at you and say, yeah, you don't need
Yeah.
it. You're fine. Do you want to go to college?
I do.
Okay.
I do, just because the network of people that you meet.
Yes.
My parents, they're like, that network has served me in ways that you can never put a price on it.
Yep.
Like, so I really want to meet those people, make those connections, have some lifelong friends. That
Yes.
sounds great.
Yes. It's
and
more than just the schooling.
It's more than just
the
the school.
the degree or
exactly.
whatever.
It's really finding a home, home away from home, I guess.
Yeah.
So, finding your place, finding your people. So that's like personal development, I feel like, happens. Or if you go, also career-wise, if you major in something that you really want to pursue, things like that.
Yeah.
So I want to major in like finance
Okay.
with maybe a minor in art history.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Be able to combine
Exactly.
the two. Okay.
I was just actually today looking at a school. It's an all business major,
Okay.
but they have an art gallery on campus that
Oh.
is student run. So I can be in a leadership position in an art gallery at a business focused school with all the resources that they have.
Yeah.
And actually what's really cool about them, everyone in freshman year has to start a business.
Oh, wait.
Yes, everyone is required to start a business. Your teachers fund it with $3,000. They give you funding, your professors. Every single person on that campus has to start it. And I was talking to the representative today. She's like, there's people that do dog grooming businesses. They have shoe sales. They have all the way up to $1 million pharmaceutical.
Wow.
So, and tech startups and app creations, like it's insane. So the variety is
It's all over the
diversity
place.
is all there, and you're literally surrounded by other business.
Okay, I
people.
feel like you have to go to this
I
college.
feel like I do too. I feel like I
They
do too.
have to accept you.
And the rep was so nice. I loved her, and
good.
she reads all the Arizona essays too. So.
Okay, she's the Arizona rep.
Yes.
As you said that, I'm thinking about, have you ever eaten Cane's?
Yes.
They were started, that is a business that was started at a college. It was from a class where they had to start a business. And I wonder if it was that college. I don't know.
I don't know, but Ring Doorbell
Yeah.
is an alum
From there?
It's Babson College.
Yeah.
Outskirts of Boston. Like Ring Doorbell, they have like the CEOs of a lot of big companies come in
Okay.
to talk. Like also the CFOs, because it's finance.
Finance.
CFOs of like Bank of America come in to talk. Things like, they have crazy people on. You never know who's going to be on that campus type of thing.
I love it.
So I'm like,
listen, this was not in the show notes, but now this has got me thinking. Are you going to have, like, if a guy tries to date you and he doesn't own a business, are you going to be like, ick?
I don't know.
Is that going to be an ick for you? Do you want only a business owner? Or are you open?
I'm open, but I feel like the business owner, they would understand more my standpoint or like where I'm coming from.
Yeah. Easier to relate a
yeah,
little bit.
But plus I see my parents, they work together.
Yeah.
So it's...
Is that something that you could see yourself doing in the future? Maybe.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
You're
open. Okay.
Yeah.
You're young. You have plenty of time. But now I'm thinking, like, girl, you're so far ahead of your game that it's gonna be hard for any guy to try to keep up with you. So he'll probably be a business owner.
Who knows? Who knows? We'll see.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show today. It was so fun to hear from you and everything that you have going on. If people want to follow your journey or learn more about what you do, where do they find you?
Okay, so I'd say find us at becomingwealthy.com.
Yep.
That's where you can keep up with my mom and I, my journey, specifically throughout high school, all anything and everything that goes along with becoming wealthy.
Yep.
So that means managing your finances, your relationships, faith, your health also. So a whole
all-encompassing.
Yeah, exactly. Perspective to wealth.
Yeah.
So
becoming wealthy. Okay. Check it out. Thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
And thanks for listening to another episode of Young Boss with Isabelle Guarino. Be sure to like, share, and follow on Instagram and TikTok. And let us know, are you a young boss like Sophia? Remember, youth is your power.